Okay, audience participation time. Here's what I want you to do for just a second. Imagine a world where every child has a loving home, a strong foundation on which those children can build a successful life, solid support from parents who only want those kids to be happy and healthy. You know, maybe you're the type of person who can provide that environment for a child. You might be surprised to learn that support is needed right here on Delmarva and right now. Here to tell us more about that are Maryland State Administrator with Children's Choice. This is Leslie Allen, and foster and respite parent John Cornish. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good afternoon.
Wonderful to have you.
Thank you for having us.
Let me ask you, I tell you what, before we get started, give us an overview of Children's Choice. What is Children's Choice?
Okay. Children's Choice is a Christian social service agency. We have offices throughout Maryland, and we have 2 offices here on the Eastern Shore, one in Salisbury and one in Kent Island.
Yeah.
We have multiple programs. Some are related to foster care and adoption, and others are related to prevention programs.
Can you share, I know there are certain specifics that you can't share, but can you share the types of situations that you've seen that these services are needed for?
Well, we have a foster care and adoption program, and that program serves children who, for one reason or another, cannot live with their parents.
Okay.
Most of the time it's because of abuse or neglect, unfortunately, or trauma experiences.
Right.
And in those situations, we desperately need foster parents to care for those children. Most of our children have special needs, usually mental health, because of the trauma that they've experienced. We also have a respite program, and this is personally my favorite. Respite is a program that John's very familiar with. He's familiar with all of them, but where you have a family that's not involved in child welfare, but they have a child with special needs, and they need help, and they need somebody to give them a break so that they can do adult-like activities, but they may not have the supports in their life to go out to dinner with their spouse or go away for a weekend.
Right.
The program offers those families with special needs the opportunity to have their child placed with a family that's trained to deal with the child's mental health issues. And it's an activity that everybody enjoys. The children usually look forward to going, and the foster parents get a lot of reward from exposing them to things that they've never been exposed to before, and the parents get a break.
Wow. So now, John, you have been a foster parent, you've been a respite parent.
Yes, sir.
Right? So what do you feel is the biggest difference between the two, between foster and respite?
Foster, the child is living in your home. The respite, they're usually there on just a weekend.
Yeah.
Or it can be longer.
It is basically otherwise the same thing? Do you try to teach the same thing, show the same thing, example the same thing? Yeah?
Oh, yes.
What do you try to do during that time?
A lot of kids that I get come in with, different issues, try to, be a good role model and be that support mentor that they need. The majority of the time, keep structure in the house.
This is going to be a funny question. Is it hard?
Yes, sir.
Why?
It takes special people to do the job.
So what have you got that makes it possible for you? Because obviously you enjoy it, you love it. So why? What makes it?
When I graduated out of high school, went to college a little bit, I started doing child care, working in lockdown facilities, working in the community with the youth, hundreds of youth, and seeing the lives of youth change. That was the most important thing. So I got involved with foster care after my son graduated out of college.
Yeah. Wow, and you really enjoy it too, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Goodness gracious. What is expected of a foster or a respite parent like John? What do you need to see?
They have to go through a background check. I'm sure you can imagine that. Physical exam, references, just like applying for a job, really.
Right.
All the same things. And then on top of that, they also have to have their home and anybody living in their home cleared. Health inspections, fire inspections, those sorts of things, because of course we're bringing children into their homes, so we want to make sure it's a safe, healthy environment for them.
And why does this mean so much to you? Because obviously you're passionate about it too.
I've been doing it a little while.
Yeah?
20 years.
Why?
Why? I started out wanting to help children. I actually wanted to be a therapist, but ended up going the child welfare route. And You know, every day is a new adventure, sometimes challenging, sometimes positive stories. And when I see that child successfully move through our program and develop bonds and relationships with families that maybe they wouldn't have had otherwise, or in the foster care sense, when you see a child go off and graduate and become successful, go to college. We had one child a couple months ago leave to go into the Army. He's now stationed in Germany. That's just a really, it makes your heart, you know, it's a little softer.
It's a good thing.
Yes, it's very good.
John, what's it like for you to see a success like that?
Great. I took in, most of the guys come in my house, come like the age of 7, and they usually end up graduating and pursuing their career. So it's long term with me.
Right. You get a payoff, but it's not a paycheck.
Right.
Right.
And by the way, John, I want to mention you are one of our previous Jefferson Award winners.
Yes, sir.
One of our very first ones, too.
Yes, sir.
Because of the heart that you have for the people around you. So I want to tell you thank you real quick for that. What can we do as a community, as a viewer, what can we do to help support this entire effort?
There are many ways that the community can support. Obviously, if somebody's interested in becoming a foster or respite parent, please contact us. But if somebody knows, if people watching the show know people who might be a good match for us, give them our information and have them contact us. And then there's other ways to support. If you are a part of a community group that might be interested in us coming to talk to them, we would absolutely do that. And then, of course, donations, but that's kind of at the bottom of my list. You know,
Right.
The most important is we need the families and we need the community involvement in what we're doing.
You need that human touch.
Yes.
You got to make that contact. Leslie Allen, John Cornish. Mr. Cornish, thank you again so much for coming in to see us some incredible stuff that we want to be able to help out with.
Thank you
All right,
very
if
much.
you have more questions, don't forget, we'll have everything you need on delmarvalife.com.